Hey, what's up guys? It's B is for Biff from FearlessMods here with you. Today we got some work to do on the STi. So right here we're looking at the replacement dash. So we've got that to be able to go put all of our new airbags into. So here's the new dash. And the old one, so we got to move a few things over from it. Obviously this one comes sans airbag, which is exactly why we got it. Now I have looked, when I was pulling off the dash cover, I was looking at how you pull these off, and there were a lot of issues with that online, and you recall when I was trying to pry them from the outside here, no luck. So it looks like there's just some little tabs here maybe that I just gotta disengage here. So super simple. Turns out that there's just these two tabs on top, but if you're prying them out, they are caught really securely. It would be hard to get those to pull out. But from the back side, it's pretty easy. Just push them in and pop the two top ones, and it came right out. So for all of you who have tried to do these from the outside of the car to remove these, to like coat them or whatever you might do, that would be challenging to do without totally screwing everything up, either on your dash or on these. So I'm not sure what to tell you. I don't know that I'd recommend going through this whole procedure of taking out the entire dash to be able to do it. Okay, the airbags were a little bit of a challenge, so I still am extremely happy that our sponsors are Liberty Auto Subaru in near Chicago, Illinois, there in Libertyville. But getting the airbags from them was not possible because of this, because of the hazardous that comes in the explosive charge. So what we had to do was they coordinated with my local Subaru dealership here to cut me a little bit of a deal. Still, this was about $2,500 worth of airbags to do. The two here, the knee airbag, and the two curtains. And here is, as you recall, the fittings here were totally melted when the charge went off. And the nice thing is this one comes with another cord, and the fitting's already on there. And learning from other YouTubers' mistakes, I'm going to take pictures of the serial numbers so that we know, so we don't have to take it back apart to find them out later on. Alright guys, we have got the stuff we need to go ahead and get the interior put back together. So you can see we've got all of the airbags. Already showed the dash. The dash is assembled, put back together, just ready to install. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab a little bit of cleaning stuff and get after the all of the Coke that I said had splashed all over the front, into the instrument cluster and everywhere else, as the guy wrecked this car and lost his soda, so to speak. The other thing I should mention is in checking online, one of the pieces of advice that it said was disconnect the battery, obviously, before you're doing any of this airbag work, and to do it a couple hours in advance so that you have all of the residuals, because it doesn't take a whole lot of electrical ohms or whatever to trip one of these. So I unhooked it about probably 3 hours ago. I touch the terminals, the wires to one another to ground anything out, and then have let it set. So that is a must before you get into doing this. So it's got the same model number, so everything looks good there. They recommend that you replace this or have it reset, but bottom line, this module is what has memory, if you will. It knows that it's already blown all the airbags, so even with new airbags, it could prevent them from deploying because it thinks it's already done it, and that's also going to be causal for, you know, airbag light and stuff like that. One massive plug here that has a little white lever that you pull out that extracts the connector. And so now we're going to reverse that and put it back in. All right, module is in. Let's go ahead and tackle this one next. Ooh, those look a little melty. Might not be good. That might require a clock spring. Cooked in. Okay, so I'm going to show you how this worked for pulling out this airbag. So there's these holes that you see right here, and I found it easiest to look straight down into them. So right now, of course, the steering wheel's upside down, but as you come in that hole, you can see that metal, that little metal tab there. You get in there and you can push it over like that. So I'm resting against that upper left bolt hole there. I'm just kind of resting my screwdriver right against it, and you can see if you ride that down, you're pushing that metal bar over, and that allows it to clear the little triangular nub thing that goes in there and snaps onto it. And there's one here, and there's one here. So 3 holes. You're coming in from each one of them. Probably be okay. If you got over here to the side like I was here with a good light, you wouldn't need to have your head up where the windshield is. You can just come in here like that and sneak your screwdriver in. 3 of those popped out pretty simple. But as I was saying, here's my problem. These are melted in there. You can see they're just fried onto the back. So unless the new one comes with some kind of way of connecting into the clock spring, that might be a whole clock spring replacement, so I'm going to have to go check on that right now. Fingers crossed that this has everything behind it that I need. No, it does not. Well, the good news is that doesn't stop me from doing the dash. That just stops me from being able to, new car smell, from being able to plop this in and have it fixed. As we say in Germany, Scheiße. All this is demonstrating is that it's super hard to get in here and do anything because it's just a rat's nest. So I was trying to see, there's like this insulation kind of stuff up over some things, and not so much up over it's over the pipes and stuff. I checked out the insulation, I just didn't see any more to really kind of come over this one any further, so I think they just kind of put it wherever. These should be airbag screws. those 5 I pulled out of the front might actually have gone. Oh, there, look right there. There's one. There? I can't. It goes there. Is it all the way down? That's right where I was hoping it would go. Weird that it has so much upward oomph right there. Anything by tweaking it up here. Maybe do this. Only got one connector. That is not good. No. All right, the thing that plagued me at the end of the day yesterday when I got done doing this was that upper center gauge cluster. We got all the way done, got to the last part of it, we're putting it in, and saw that there was only one connector coming up behind the gauge cluster, which has clearly 2 places for connections. So there's not a whole lot of stuff out there on YouTube or on the internet for that matter that shows you how much, or what's behind that when you take that off on the 15 through 17 type STIs. So I ended up pulling it apart and taking most of this off again so that I can pull the dash forward enough to be underneath there where all the ductwork is for the defrost and for the vents, and try to find out if there was another missing connector that somehow had gotten buried and wasn't flipped up there. Couldn't find anything, put it all back together. A lot of frustrating work in repeat, which I just don't like doing repeat if I don't have to. And then went back and re-looked at the video of when I was removing it. And so there's one video on YouTube, and there's my one video where I was able to go back, which you'll see here. And you can see that as I pop it off, even in slow-mo, and I check it out, there is not a second connector there. There's only the one connector. And so I put it all back together. The weird thing is the left half of it isn't turning on when I turn the key on. It turns out that the center instrument console does only have one connector, and the reason it wasn't coming on is because it's the left side has to do totally with the climate control. So once I turn the climate control on, it lights up and everything works fine. So even though there's 2 connectors on the back of that, only one of them is used. So meanwhile, let's go ahead and keep going on the airbags. Next one we're going to do here is the knee airbag. But yeah, the dash is looking good. Essentially knee airbag. driver airbag. I'm also having a lot of trouble finding anything in here for the clock spring on these cars. Best I can tell, it includes this whole assembly with both of these. And so I am going to do a little bit more research and see if there's a possibility of maybe swapping out some of these connectors. So I'll look into that. I want to make extra sure that that's a legit way to go about it, because I don't want to be messing with anything that could change the electrical continuity or the amount of resistance in the wires that might cause it to inadvertently blow. We did remove the battery terminals last night, so they've had plenty of time to discharge. And I'm going to take a picture of the serial numbers for this one. Alright, so this just hangs up here on these studs. This must be like the cabin temperature sensor here. Don't know if you can see it. It's a little square tube. You can see that. There's a little wire loop in there that I think just senses the temperature. That little vent hole you see there under your dash, that's just allowing ambient air to get in there so it can sense the temperature. Okay, let's get the glove box back in here. Yeah, looking good. All right, let's get the last little piece on here. Okay, so keep in mind right now, I still have the airbag module disconnected until I figure out what I'm going to do with that clock spring. Down to go pick up the airbags I ordered. And then the Big Mac Daddy's curtain airbags. These things are actually much heavier than the ones that I removed. And maybe that's why. Holy smokes. That is shipped in a cage. Wow. In case it were to go off in the box, I guess. Holy crap. It's a whole friggin' cage. Look at that. Wow. Let's see. I think I'll be able to make like a skunk trap when I'm done here and set this outside the house and catch some wild game. Come on now. Flex. There we go. Well, that kind of makes me a little nervous pulling it out of here. I don't even trust their shipping. Afraid it's going to blow up. That explains why that was so heavy, because I didn't remember that being that damn heavy. But that is one curtain airbag. actually all in right now. But I'm gonna have to order some connectors. Yeah. Airbag for the driver's seat done, but the dash is looking good. No airbags coming out. The headliners are looking good. Where we've put the curtain airbags in. So this has been a good day here with a lot of progress. So sorry it's been a long time. It took a long time to get this airbag deal worked out. It took a long time to get this dash deal worked out, to get these big parts. You know, I guess some of that's the trials and tribulations of trying to work through long distance on a sponsorship deal. But I got to tell you, I'm super happy with Liberty Auto Subaru, doing great things for me. A lot of help on this build, and so please be sure and look them up. SubaruPartWholesale.com is where you want to go find your parts. They just revamped the website. It's still the same great thing. Still has my VIN stored in there. I still go in there and I just shop for all these things. And really, the airbags are the only problem I've had thus far, being able to get parts from them, and that's, you know, they can't help that. That's the Postal Service. So. We are ready for a windshield, and then I'm ready to go ahead and get back into that trunk and start getting messing with the hinges and trying to get everything settled in there exactly right. I did go pick up a quarter panel, so great things ahead. Getting a little bit further than I had expected to at this point in the build. Honestly, I wasn't planning on doing the quarter panel until maybe this summer, so we'll see. Maybe we start diving into that. I think it's kind of going to be a necessity to get this thing street legal and get that rebuild title. This was a huge step for that, so really happy with the progress we've made. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying Fearless Mods. I hope you like the videos we're putting out. If you do, please be sure and subscribe. Share it with your friends. Make sure they subscribe as well. I'm really thrilled that today I actually hit 600 subscribers. For me, that's huge. And I just want to thank you guys for signing on and following along with us. And hopefully we'll have a lot more good stuff for you to come. Keep your interest. So that's going to wrap it up for today. Thanks again for watching, and take care.